Hey guys, I want to talk to you about something. Okay. How many of us say, I can't do that? We see these obstacles in front of us and we say, I can't. I don't know how. I can't. There's no way. Well, let me tell you something, okay? So in my physical fitness, I've had this barrier in doing push-ups, okay? And this has actually been an issue for me. It's kept me from going where I want to go in some ways. So, I actually reached out when I saw the opportunity of somebody who came into my orbit. And I said, hey, you probably know what I need to know. Can I basically pick your brain? Can I get your feedback? Can I add you as contact? Can we talk about this? Because I want to improve. And I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what's holding me back. And you've got the expertise, hopefully, to be able to help me fix this. You've got the perspective, you've got the tools, you've got the training that I don't have. Okay? But your knowledge can help me improve myself. So, after some back and forth discussion and, me demonstrating, okay, this is what's the problem. This is where it hurts. This is what I'm doing. I got the feedback of, you might be doing this, and here's what to try to avoid that, to do that differently. So, I've been trying that, and I've been seeing some really good positive results from that. So, just because you can't do the thing right now, or you're having trouble doing the thing right now, or you're struggling with it, does not mean that you can't do it. It just means that you don't have the tools yet. You don't have the knowledge. You don't have whoever's in your orbit that has that knowledge. So reach out, network, connect with people. Somebody knows what you need to know in order to move forward so that you're not stuck. A lot of us, we get in this mindset of, I need to know all of it myself. I need to know how to do it. I should know how to do this. And if I don't know how to do this, well, then I can't do it. Well, we get stuck in that. It's true. We get stuck in it. And when we do that, we really, really sell ourselves short, because one of the greatest abilities that we have as human beings is to adapt and learn and grow. And we can learn new ways of doing things, better ways of doing things, like in relationships. And with me, I can say, hey, you know what? I am doing something with my push-ups. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it freaking hurts. It hurts me, right here. So the feedback was, hey, you may be rotating your shoulders inward while you're doing this. Here's how to fix it. I try it, and hey, you know what? It's not pinching right there. So, my posture has been something that I've been working on for a long time, and I was told to pull my shoulder blades back, and it seems to work. So it's something that simple that it's plagued me for years, and I didn't have anybody really to reach out to. I probably could have gone to a physical trainer, but I can't really afford that right now. So, I like I said, I encountered this person kind of rotating into my orbit, and I went, oh, resource. So be aware of when people come into your orbit and they may have knowledge that you can use to better yourself, because I promise you, we don't all know the same things. It's true. And being willing to admit that you don't know and going to seek help and outside information in order to improve yourself, like, I get that with anxiety, that is incredibly difficult. And especially if you have depression, it may seem like, oh, there's no possible way I could improve. This is just how I am. I'm stuck this way. Well, depression and anxiety tend to really close our brains to new information or the possibility of new information or the possibility of doing things a different way to improve our situation, improve ourselves. So if you listen to that, all you're going to get is more of the same, more of what you've been doing, more of what you've been getting. But if you are able to step outside of that, if you're able to recognize these patterns and this thought, this belief system that depression, anxiety, what have you, is driving, you say, oh, I am feeling this way because of a belief. I am feeling this way because of what's going on in my brain. And this may not necessarily be indicative of the truth. And it may seem like whatever you're going through, whatever you're doing, is impossible to change. But I promise you it's not. I promise you, even if you have to start with small steps, like really small changes, okay? It's possible. Okay, so, one of the reasons why I struggled with the push-ups is because I did not have that little tiny bit of information. I would do push-ups and then I would injure myself. And I could not figure out what I was doing wrong. So being able to get a different perspective and bounce that off of somebody who knows, like physical training, that enabled me to recognize where I was doing the thing wrong and to start to make those changes so that I can meet or exceed what I'm trying to do that I wasn't able to before because that was holding me back. So never be afraid. Well, never be afraid. So here's the thing about that, okay? Be scared, do it anyway. Reaching out to people. The more you do it, the easier it will get. And I know that sounds super cliche, but here's the thing is I used to be afraid to make a phone call. Okay. I was living in anxiety. I was living in, oh God, my headspace was just horrendous because I was in a very abusive situation where I was conditioned to think and believe and behave that way, as though I was helpless and couldn't do anything right, etc. So, I had formed that belief of, oh, I can't do this, right? I can't even make a phone call. But here's the thing is when I was outside of the influence of the person who was wanting me to think that and feel that, well, I was able to make the phone calls. It wasn't easy. Yeah, I was scared, but I'm like, you know what? There's nobody else here to do it, so I got to do it. And turns out it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad. And so what I've done is over the years, I've gotten better and better and better and better at it to the point where sometimes I'm like, I just don't want to make the phone call. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to put the mental energy into doing that. But I'm like, well, I got to do it sooner or later. May as well do it right now. It's just one of those things. It's not really that big of a deal for me anymore because I've gotten so used to do it. I've gotten the practice in doing it. It used to be it just scared the socks off of me. And I did it scared. Really, like with a lot of stuff in life, you cannot wait to not be scared of it. Okay? There's going to be fear in doing anything new or different or anything that you have traditionally been scared of doing. There's always going to be some fear involved. Okay? At least at first. Until you learn, hey, you know what? I'm going to be okay. This isn't the end of the world. It's not going to, it's not going to kill me. And this is for most people. This is not everybody. Because some folks do have a really, really ingrained fear And that can be driven by other things that need to be excavated first. And so I'm not saying that there's something wrong with you if you do the thing multiple times and you're still scared of it. Okay, that's not what I'm saying at all. Some things for us we've just been programmed to perceive as scary. And for a lot of us though, those perceptions aren't really indicative of reality. Okay. I used to be so scared of making any sort of request. And it took time and repetition, a lot of repetition, for me to learn the worst they can do is say no. Well, really worst case scenario, there's some sort of negative repercussion for it. But here's the thing about that is I've learned through experience that I'll be okay. I'll handle it, whatever it is. And that's a realization that I think not enough of us have, especially if we're dealing with anxiety and depression, is that, whatever's happened to us, we're still here. And maybe we don't have all the skills that we need right now. Maybe we don't. But the great news is that there are people out there who have the knowledge, who have the skills, and can teach us. So then that way we are able to put those into practice. And from there, we can teach other people who were in a situation like what we were in. So never write yourself off. Never, ever write yourself off, please. Because, like I said, for years. And all it took was running into and meeting one person who was willing to say, yeah, if you need help with something, let me know. I'd be more than willing to help you. And take them up on it. There's absolutely no shame in that. There's a wisdom in knowing that you don't know everything and that other people have things to teach you. Other people have things to share with you that will make your life better. Granted, don't believe everything that you are told all the time. Have your critical thinking skills or develop them if you need to. That's a whole other thing. But, never, ever, ever get stuck, with, I can't do that. All right. If there's something that you want to do, if there's something that is standing in your way, don't get stuck with, well, I guess I just can't do that. Okay. What don't you know? What skills don't you have? What knowledge and skills might somebody else have that will help you to do the thing? Now, some of us are naturally not inclined to some things, and that's perfectly fine. If you do something or you try to do something and you find out that you just don't like it or it's not for you, okay, cool. But for me, I've been pursuing a passion of mine for quite a while, and this has been one of those barriers to it. So don't give up. It's something, it is that simple, it is that stupid, it is stupid. It's small, right? But it's a linchpin, right? So honestly, keep learning. Keep learning about what you want to do. Seek out information. When it drops in your lap like that, man, scoop that up. Because you will be given the opportunity to learn. Things may not just come to you, but when you put yourself out there, the opportunity, you will see it. You will find it. Just got to open your eyes. Be aware of it and be bold. even if you're afraid, you know? Um, I was unsure of myself. I was like, oh, can I do this? How do I do this without being weird? Uh, you know, if you know me, being weird is part of my unique charm. And so I do try to not scare off people who I do actually want to learn from. But, you know, really all you can do at the end of the day is just go for it. Because if you're held back by that fear, you're not going to get anywhere. You know, if it's a learning experience, it's a learning experience. You know, if they say no, they say no. And maybe you can ask them, hey, is there a way that I could have approached you where you would have said yes? And then ask them about that. You know, so maybe they actually be like, oh, you know, maybe I am willing to help you. Or the next time, you know, something like that comes around, then you have the tools to be able to do that. You have kind of a little bit of a roadmap on how to ask for help. And that's another thing is, you know, needing help does not mean you are weak. It doesn't mean you're stupid. It doesn't mean that you are less than. Okay? I think one of the most amazing things about being human is the fact that we can help each other. You know, I don't know everything. I know that I don't know everything. There's a reason I'm in school. You know, there's a reason why I ask people, hey, I see that you know about this. Can you teach me that? Or can you show me that? Or, hey, what do you know about that? It's being able to just reach out and say, hey, you know, it doesn't make you, you know, pitiful or pathetic. It shows that you're willing to learn, you're open to it, and you recognize that, you know, and you want to improve yourself. Okay? So don't be afraid of asking for help. Okay, don't be afraid. If you're afraid of asking for help, do it scared, okay? Keep doing it scared. It's that stupid saying of don't be afraid. Ugh. And it seems like that's so ingrained, you know, where the idea is if you're scared, don't do it. Or if you're scared, you can't do it. And that's the thing. Because telling somebody to not be scared is not the way to do it. Not the way to go. So, that's something where I will probably be correcting myself on a regular basis until I actually get that down. So, yeah. All right, guys. I will see you later. Have a good one.